No.
Okay.
It's a very, like, easy, fun read. And
Sorry.
somehow the author made, like, me telling it on a microphone sounds super boring.
It does.
But somehow the author made it exciting and fun and relatable, and, like, I could be friends with this person.
With the character or the author?
With the character.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
What if you are? What if it's me? What if I wrote that book?
Ah! Okay, one more. And then the last book that I have read was Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate.
I haven't heard of any of these books. But I never usually do, to be honest.
Well, so all these books came in, like, one after another. And I would say, like, 4 months ago, I found the list of, like, the top 100 books of 2017.
And you just reserved them all?
I reserved, like, the top 20.
Nice.
And so all of these are on that list.
Gotcha.
And so, anyways, Before We Were Yours... heart-wrenching.
See the cover. I'm judging.
It's the top
It
one
looks
there.
super great already. The cover I'm judging. Before We Were Yours.
By Lisa Wingate. And it's a story about child trafficking in the adoption front.
That sounds like a terrible, sad book.
It's another fictional story of a nonfiction thing that happened in
I've
history.
added it already.
And it's about this lady named Georgia Tan, who was basically this lady...
Sorry.
Who stole... Well, she made mothers sign a waiver after their birth, their childbirth, and was like, hey, we're going to take temporary custody of your kid while you get better from the childbirth, blah, blah, blah. And the mom's like, cool. And she signs it, and she's not reading the paper, and the paper is actually her signing over rights permanently. Yeah, totally messed up. So she ended up selling over 5,000 children over a 30-year time span.
Is it focused on one family or something?
It's focused on one family and how Georgia Tan affected this one particular family.
I'm seeing it. It says 1939.
Yeah, it was between... She did this whole, like, I guess, black circle ring between 1920 and 1950.
Holy shit.
She was a real woman. That sucked.
I liked your review. It says, just go call your parents.
Yeah.
Ask them about your history. You won't regret it. My mom rated this one. It says, edge of your seat writing. I kept guessing who were related all along.
Yeah.
Must read. They will steal your heart.
It was gut-wrenching.
Janelle read it too. She likes it. 4 stars. It is a popular book on Goodreads.
What's the Goodreads
4.37.
That's really good.
That's good for Goodreads. It's always like a 4 or less.
Yep. So that was Before We Were Yours.
I would say that one is the one I like the most hearing from you. Like, I obviously haven't read it, but that's the one I'm stoked to go read.
Oh my gosh.
And then also the crime one I love. I love crime thrillers. Was that... say the title again. Was it something Daughter?
Yeah, The Good Daughter.
The Good Daughter.
Yeah. I would say those two, are your... You should go definitely read those, for sure. All right, your turn.
Okay, sweet. I feel like I haven't read as many good books as you, and you did a really good job, so I'm like, oh my god, don't fuck it up.
All those books, like I said, are on like the top 50, top 100.
So the way I choose my books is when I want to read something, it has to be available right now. Or it's got to be in my Overdrive account, you know. So I go to the library and I select like most popular, available now.
Okay.
And I want to read it, so I choose an ebook. And usually they're not the best books, to be honest. Because I have to, like, of course the good books are checked out, or they're on a huge waiting list. So, but I will say I've read a few really good books. So, the first one I rated 5 stars, after Camino Island, is This Is Me by Chrissy Metz.
Oh!
And she's the woman from This Is Us.
Yes.
And I'm obviously obsessed with her. She's one of the triplets.
How was this book? I've seen it all over Instagram.
It's so good. If you are into the self-help and, like, the super cheesy, like, You're Amazing type of books, you would love this book.
I forgot about one of my books that I hated.
Uh-oh.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay, great. I have a feeling I know which one it is.
Which one?
You're a Badass.
No.
No, the other one. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck.
Yep.
You hated it.
I hated it.
Tell me now why you don't like it.
Which is crazy because it's one of those
exactly
books
the same.
that's on all those lists.
Maybe you don't like self-help books.
No, I do like self-help books, but everything... He was like, I am God. I am telling you the
I know.
secret to living a good life.
He's very egotistical.
Very egotistical. And I hated it because it's none of it... He kept saying, just wait until I tell you. Just wait until I tell you. And it's all the same thing. He's like, it's the subtle art of not giving a fuck. I'm like, this is not new.
He was just way too cool for us.
Yeah, nothing in that book was new. I hated it.
So anyway, I liked that book. I am such a sucker for self-help books. I love self-help because I need all of the help I can get.
I didn't finish it, which is why it wasn't on my list.
Oh, shit. You threw it away.
I said, get out of my
You were on that
life.
wait list since like our first episode.
I know.
That was years ago, Audrey. My only review of this was she's funny and smart and I just love her. And that must mean like...
You're talking about Christy Metz?
Yeah, I was...
Because we got it like...
Yeah, no, Christy Metz. I remember this is an audiobook I listened to, and she narrates it, and she is so funny. I follow her on Insta already, and she's just like Southern, like every now and then she has like a sassy Southern accent, and that comes out in her book a lot, and it's just really inspirational. And she talks about, you know, she's a bigger girl, and so am I, and it was nice to have a bigger person just be so confident and like, and just love herself. And just say, this is me. If you don't like it, you can go fuck yourself, essentially. Right. And so I think I liked it for that reason. It's just like this big badass girl.
I want to read that.
It was also just funny. Like,
I didn't realize that the audiobook... I'm a big audiobook person.
You love the audiobook. If you like listening to her voice.
Well, I also follow her on Instagram.
She's funny, right?
But I feel like she just posted that she just finished the audiobook.
No way. She's been on a book tour for forever now.
It's already up and going.
Yeah, shit, it's good. So that was my very, like, yes, go Chrissy Metz. I love her so much. The next one that I read,
sorry.
I'm fucking up my sound.
Sorry.
The next one I listened to was actually called An American Marriage.
I read that too.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. You were a 4-star.
That was
gonna be your
not
honorable
on my
mention.
top 5. That was going to be an honorable
I
mention.
loved this book. I really loved the audiobook and how they were different voices, of course. You know, it's the man's here and the woman's here. What did I say? Ooh, feetsies. Oh, I really liked how they focused... This book focused on the characters instead of over-detailing what they encounter, because the book isn't about the events that happen. It's how the characters encounter and react to the events.
Right.
It's how they can maintain a relationship with each other or other people, of course, in the book, without detailing too much of the event.
Right.
So, obviously, I don't want to give too much away with it, but basically... shit happens.
Right.
And it's totally unexpected, left field, but it's just them dealing with it. Mm-hmm. And I loved it.
I found it as like an easy like stroll read.
Exactly. I agree with that.
Like it was very simple to follow along with. Mm-hmm. And relatable, even though like I have never experienced anything that
totally.
they have.
Totally.
But it was like I could definitely see how that could happen.
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
I wrote,
that sucks.
I said, wow, you can really empathize with each person and see their side of things. And then the next chapter starts and you're like, oh shit, no, like I agree with them now.
Right.
And so it's like you're flip-flopping every chapter.
Right.
I love those type of books. You're like, well, shit. That's why I like The Staircase so much, that Netflix documentary.
Oh my gosh.
Because I'm like, every episode I'm like, well, he did it. And then the next one I'm like, no, he didn't do it. And
The Staircase documentary that she's talking about is on Netflix, and it's about...
Everyone's seen it.
Not really. It's about this lady who fell down, quote unquote, the stairs.
And bashed open her head in like 9,000 places.
Yeah. Either fell or was pushed down by her husband to... Yeah. That's it.
I listened to my favorite murder podcast of that. It's episode 100, if you're interested.
I've already heard it.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Have you listened to everything from them?
Maybe not everything. I would say more than not.
I would say they actually changed my mind on how I feel about The Staircase, even though sometimes it didn't seem like they watched the documentary or maybe just a few episodes. But they're such good like crime analyzers. Like, no wonder their podcast is so great.
Well, that one particular episode is one that I have to disagree with you on.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't think they did a good job on that one.
I liked it.
But I like all their other episodes.
Maybe because I actually knew the crime. And so I could understand, like, oh, I see that theory.
I think, yeah, that's probably what it had. Like, they didn't do any, like, preface of, hey, here are the facts.
Yeah,
this
they
is
just talk
what
about
we
the
think.
documentary.
They just went straight to, this is what we think.
True.
And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about.
So that book was not about murder. American Marriage.
Yeah, that was on my honorable mention.
So that one's good. And then my absolute favorite, of course, is a Stephen King book.
Ooh.
But it's under his pseudonym, Richard Bachman.
I didn't know that.
He wrote as Richard Bachman, let's see, what year is this? This was 96, so I'm going to guess in the 90s. He wrote under this pseudonym. And
But why would you choose that name?
I don't know.
Like, you can have any name you want, and you go, it's Richard Bachman?
I have no idea.
Am I wrong for thinking that? I feel like that's not
Dick
a very good
Bachman.
name. I don't like it.
Well, good thing his name's Stephen King in real life.
I have really inappropriate jokes.
Okay.
Flooding my brain right now.
So this book was called Thinner, or it still is called Thinner. And basically, let's see. Oh, I quoted this one. Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Ooh.
So basically this is about a ex-detective, or maybe an ex-cop, or some old guy, who, oh my gosh, it's such a terrible story. I'm just gonna tell the whole story.
You are jumping all over the place.
Okay, sorry. It's about this guy who was getting a hand job from his wife and accidentally ran over a gypsy's wife. And the gypsy put a curse on him. And he's an overweight guy. The curse was for him to get thinner. And, like, that's every fat person's dream, is to get thinner. But he gets thinner, like, if he doesn't eat, he loses, like, 10 pounds. And if he does eat, he loses, like, 5 pounds. So this guy, like, daily. So he's constantly losing weight, and everyone's like, wow, you're looking good, until, like, let's say he's 6 foot. He's probably, like, weighing 120 pounds at this point. And they're like, something's wrong with this scary-looking creep. And he's trying to tell people, I was cursed, even though I wasn't the one that did it. My stupid wife was the one giving me a handy. And he, like, hates her. And so the whole book is about him getting thinner, and then finding the gypsy that put the curse on him, and trying to reverse the curse.
Interesting.
And it's so good.
That's not something I would expect from Stephen King.
That's Richard Bachman is why.
Duh.
And then the end was so, like, okay, some people said they predicted the end, but I only saw it coming as it was happening. I was like, oh no, this is happening. I can't believe that. But oh my god, the ending is so gross, I think. Of course, it's Richard Bachman, Stephen King. He's so gross all the time.
I love Stephen King. He's probably on my top 3.
He's definitely my favorite. I wrote, sometimes the details in this book weren't necessary, but what's a good Stephen King book without that?
Oh, I agree.
Like, he's always so detailed.
He takes 8 chapters at a time that only needed 1.
Yeah. And I love it. It's just so beautiful when I read him. He's so, like, artistic.
So gorgeous.
So the quote that I have here is actually... So I copied the quote from my ebook, and I looked it up online to make sure I was quoting it right, because I couldn't... Like, I could copy the text, but then I wanted to, like, Wikipedia. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And then I found the quote, and then I went to go put it in Goodreads, and everyone else quotes this, too.
It must be a good quote.
I felt so smart. But I also just I have to say that because I didn't copy it from someone else. So anyway, the quote is, some guys, a lot of guys, don't believe what they're seeing, especially if it gets in the way of what they eat, or they drink, or think, or believe. Me, I don't believe in God, but if I saw him, I would. I wouldn't just go around saying, Jesus, that's a great special effect. The definition of an asshole is a guy who doesn't believe what he's seeing. And you can quote me.
I like that.
I like it.
That's exactly my ideation on everything.
I agree. Like, you can't just see something and ignore it. That, like, it speaks to our current world affairs.
I agree.
People they see the truth
right
and then they can't
happening.
accept it. Yeah. They're assholes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love him. I love him so much. But that is unfortunately my last 5 stars.
So you didn't give him very many 5 stars.
No, I have an honorable mention.
All right, let's hear it.
It's just one. It is called Under a Painted Sky. I think I might have got that one from you.
No. Never heard of it.
No, you're right. You haven't read it. I gave it 4 stars, but I didn't say why it wasn't a 5. I really enjoyed how beautiful this book was and the characters. Very well written.
There you go.
It must have just been boring. Like, nothing exciting.
Do you remember anything about it?
It was like about it was about race relations, actually.
Oh.
In a long time ago, 1849. So it's about this Chinese woman who has to pretend to be a man in order to survive. I like the premise a lot, but I think a lot of their conversations with each other were kind